Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Valerie Williamson and today we will be talking about knowledge management, otherwise known as KM. What is KM? KM is a concept and a term that arose approximately 2 decades ago, roughly in 1990. KM is a discipline that promotes an integrated approach to identifying, capturing, evaluating, retrieving, and sharing all of an enterprise information assets. These assets may include databases, documents, policies, procedures, and previously uncaptured expertise and experience in individual workers. It is getting the right information to the right people in the right place at the right time. Elizabeth Nelson said, the key to making KM work is not to manage knowledge per se, but rather to make knowledge more visible by using several tools and techniques including mentoring, collaboration, communities of practice, network analysis, and many others. She also stated that KM tools and techniques are important, but it is equally important to remember that the most basic point about knowledge management is that organizational information is not about technology, but about people. A knowledge organization is one where connecting people and encouraging communication and collaboration are the most important things to do because assets increase with use. Ideas breed new ideas, and shared knowledge stays with the giver while it enriches the receiver. So, who uses KM? Everyone. Libraries, law firms, government offices. You may be using KM and not even know it. Here's a KM abstract. In order for KM to work, it needs people, technology, data, and processes. What you need. You need technology, processes, data, and people to manage this system. Data is the main thing that drives the KM. Without verified and accurate information, the KM would not be reliable or useful to users. Technology. We live in modern times, so the KM has to be online and can be accessed anywhere within the organization. Processes. We need processes to add, update, and maintain the KM. People. The KM needs collaborators and end users to make it a success. Introduction of organization needs. These are the things our organization needs to ensure the KM will be successful. Team. We need a talented team to help identify data needs and source the data. Database and visual interface. A system to store the information and a visual interface to access this information. Data verification. Data quality control is important to ensure the KM is accurate and up to date. Assessment tool. An assessment tool needs to be added as a last step to ensure the KM meets all the business needs. At my previous job, when we start a project, sometimes we would need information regarding a previous project. We wouldn't really know where to look, but we have an idea of who might. But the key word is might. So we have to ask this person and hope they are not too busy to respond. Sometimes this person might be on vacation. Imagine how excited you would be if we contact you during your vacation on questions you already answered many times. This repeats itself many times, and if we keep bothering this person, it is hard for him to get his own work done. This sounds funny, but it is the kind of problem that knowledge management would solve. So why should we want to store information online? If we have printed information and loses them, then it is a hassle to replace them. What if that was the last copy? What then? Another problem with printed copies is that they can get expensive. Think about it. For a small establishment, you may need one or two printed copies of the information. What if the establishment is the Stephen A. Schwarzman building of the New York Public Library? It is over 646,000 square feet and welcomes millions of visitors a year. Don't you think the printed information would get very costly? Another example is the index cards that the library used to have. What if a flood or a fire happens? those index cards would be lost. It would be very hard to replace everything that is lost because no one will remember every single item that used to be in the library. Since these informations are now stored online, it is easier to account for what was lost. Besides, having information online means that people can access it easier or they can access it off-site. However, just because the information is online does not mean they're accessible. This is where KM comes into play. Masters of KM. The Egyptians were ingenious in storing information. These hieroglyphics lasted for centuries. They are fireproof and waterproof. It has lasted through time, but they were hard to edit. It was literally written in stone. Plus, they weren't very portable. What good is information if we cannot access it? Structure of the KM of HR organization. Starting from the left-hand side, our KM is driven by data from our internal resources. We need a team to collect and organize this data to feed into the system. We also have research projects that have ended but may not have been cataloged. These items would need to be fed into the system. We also need to put all this information online to share internally within the organization. This system would need to be accessible by all authorized users. Most importantly, the users will be able to help improve the content on the KM by continually to update the information as projects are completed. 7-step implementation process by Steve Morrissey. Number 1. Assess what knowledge is required. Number 2. Assess degree of organization, sharing, and retention. Number 3. Obtain senior management support. Number 4. Design integrated system of tools and technologies. Number 5. Design incentive for use. Number 6. Measure impact. And finally, number 7. Promote and advertise success. Sources of information available in KM. Since this is the Battery Park City Library, part of the New York Public Library, the KM must contain procedures, form, and guides. What are the rules? Why are the rules different from branches to branches? How do we enforce the rules? These are some of the questions that we're faced with every day working at the New York Public Library. Like all establishments, the New York Public Libraries have a set of rules that all branches must follow. However, since there are over 90 branches in the system, some rules are different from one branch to another. Each branch of the library have their own set of rules, and when patrons go from one branch to another, they are angered by the differences. Worse, sometimes the rules are different from person to person within the branch. So when someone wants to enforce the rules, workers must be able to show the patrons the written rules. So where do they go? They go online and pull up the guide and can actually show it to the patron and say, this is what I'm supposed to abide by. Let's go back for a moment. It is very understandable that in the NYPL, there are over 90 branches, so some rules can be different from one branch to another. Maybe the people who works at branch A may know many of the patrons, so when they come in to check out stuff, they automatically type up their name and they don't need their library card. But branch B may be a much bigger branch and there are many more people. So that branch will definitely ask for a library card because they do not know the person in front of them. But how can the rules be different within the branch from person to person? Well, some people are transferring from one branch to another and they're bringing what they know from a previous branch to the current branches that they're in. So how do we solve that? In order for us to teach each person the rules, we must come together and put it all in the KM system. The KM works very well in letting us know where exactly the rules are and how do we get to it when problem arises. For instance, checking out laptops, one must have their library cards. This is the rule in the MYPL system, but we have patrons that comes in and say, well, I was in branch C and they never asked for my library card. I can show my ID and they can just look me up and give me a laptop. However, the rules are that you must have a library card, and if they go to branch B and said, I don't need a library card to check out a laptop, branch B personnel can actually look it up and show it to the person and say, listen, this is the rules. These laptops are $2,000. We have to follow the rules for something that costs so much money. And branch C is breaking the rules and they can really get in trouble for something so expensive. Another thing is library cards. People are getting library cards without the proof of address. You're supposed to have something with your name and current address. It is stated on the library website. It is stated in the library pamphlet, in the rules pamphlet, and if the person do not have a proof of name and current address, a legitimate proof of name and current address, then they cannot get a library card. Yet I see people give library cards out left and right with only their work ID, and work ID do not have home address on it. So how do we solve this? We solve this by getting everyone together and talking about what the rules are. We must be able to get to the rules whenever we want it, whenever we need it. So the KM system will definitely be useful for this organization. So I need your support to fund and staff the project. Thank you for your time.